new Scotland, the property photography market and what's actually happening. So I did a video yesterday talking about the general market going not so well. I think it was on my other channel. But here talking about Wednesday, more things have happened. The company I work for is restricting the number of days that people are working now. So they're down to a 4-day working week in order to reduce costs by 20% instead of reducing staff by 20%. So that's a really good thing that the kind of head bosses are doing. The news in Scotland is that the schools, primary and secondary schools, are closing from Friday. So that's going to put a lot of people on work from home and homeschooling happening over the next few months. The current projections of how long it's going to be lasting is still kind of unknown at the moment, but they are saying months rather than weeks is the general thought going on here. The sales market, there are still people calling up saying, I want to put my property up for sale. Possibly people that are just slightly oblivious to the current circumstances going on there. In the street that I work in, there's a Savills, there's a Retties, there's another property company, and they've all got their doors closed. There's signs on the front of the door saying no face-to-face meetings going on, no interacting with the public going on. So there's no people walking in to any of these property companies' offices to hand in keys or anything like that. I myself, as a photographer, I've still got quite a few houses I need to shoot. I called up an owner earlier today saying, hi, I'm going to shoot your property on Friday. She was like, that's great, I'll see you on Friday. I'm like, just to let you know, I'm having to advise you that I may be a carrier of the coronavirus. Not that I'm ill in any sort of way, but I have 2 children. One's at nursery where 6 children were sent home with temperatures yesterday, and the other one's at school mingling with lots of other children. Some of them have been put into kind of not quarantine but lockdown at home, so I could be holding or having the virus somewhere on me and doing this. So I'm advising anybody that I'm viewing their property saying, are you still happy with me coming into the property? If you are, I'm going to have to ask you to not be in the same room as me. If you want, you can leave your keys outside the property for me to pick up, to then take and let myself in and do the shoot by myself. So one of the owners that I'm meeting is a 70-year-old, very sprightly, but 70-year-old who anybody in 70 is considered to be in the at-risk category. So I, as a photographer, meeting potentially landlords face-to-face and tenants face-to-face, I'm having to warn them of the dangers of the fact that I have children and I could be harbinging this coronavirus. So I've got to be careful with that. We don't want to be putting anybody into any risk without them at least being aware of the situation. In terms of the rental market, they're predicting 20%, initially 20% of people possibly losing their jobs and not being able to pay rent. In worst case scenarios, I don't know if this is even worst case scenarios, but they're talking about trying to be prepared for up to 50% of tenants or rental properties failing to pay the rent in the coming months. Additionally, on top of that, again, for any sort of agency, is that there will be requests for rent reductions during this time as well. So as an agency, you've got 100 properties all charged £1,000. 50 of them might stop being able to pay rent full stop, and the other 50 may ask for a rent reduction down to £800. So there's going to be a knock-on, not just the total cumulative amount of people unable to pay rent, but the requirements of the reducing of rent for people who are not necessarily lost their job but struggling in other ways. There may be hopefully assistance with councils and governments with freezes on things like council tax, hopefully some sort of control over gas, electricity, internet bills going on. Not 100% sure. There's no more kind of advice going on there. But at the moment, it's not looking great in any sort of way. But happy to still have a job, happy to still have lots of people that I need to be doing work for, but fully aware that the worry is that this is something that could be lasting not weeks, not let's have a 14-day lockdown. This could be a 12-week lockdown, a 3 months lockdown going on that may be happening. Certainly with the schools in Scotland closing on Friday, the place is a bit of a ghost town already. It's fantastic as somebody who has to drive around Edinburgh, has to find parking spaces here, there, and everywhere. I'm able. The roads are quiet. The parking is abundant. It's great. I've not seen too many parking wardens either. I don't see them losing their jobs. They'll always be needed. But there's clearly a large amount of people who are not either in town. Maybe most of the people are working from home, but any industry that doesn't have the work from home capability is going to be massively struggling. The Airbnb side of things as well is massively, from what we've told, so quickly drying up. People not booking, and people that are booking losing their jobs, not able to pay for that booking and fulfill the booking afterwards. So why risk getting it? Have you seen the videos of people on ventilators? The virus can stay on surfaces for days. From my knowledge is that there's not that many people in Scotland that actually have it. It's not so much the danger to me, it's a danger that I may create to other people. My parents, one has COPD, the other one has had shingles and has autoimmune illnesses, which I shouldn't be interacting with them. So I'm not going to be meeting up with my parents for the foreseeable future. Although I did call them today, and they're like, do you want to come up and see us on Friday or on Saturday? I was like, no, you don't quite understand this quarantine thing going on. The 1.5 meter distance in the grocery store, that will probably be happening pretty soon. An interesting thing that happened was there was a police were called to a Tesco's just outside Edinburgh, where one of the Tesco checkout staff coughed, and somebody a customer went mental at them and was threatening to like chase them home, and the police had to be called. All malls are closing for 4 weeks as well in Germany. So the shopping malls in Germany are closing for 4 weeks. So yeah, it's weeks and weeks. So say 4 weeks, we're talking months here, not just a little bit of time. So again, our government in the UK is constantly telling people to not panic, not do too much panic buying, hoarding of gear. The problem is the amount of people that don't have any current stock of things that they need to start hoarding. Again, talking to friends in work, they're like, oh yeah, here's my lunch for today. And it's like 2 bits of bread and some tomatoes. And I'm like, is that all you've got? It's like, yeah, I usually just get food from the shop down the road. And he's like, yeah, I now need to actually stock up on some stuff in case I'm not able to go to the shop for a month. So the idea of panic buying or hoarding, it would be a bad thing if we lived in a country where we kept large supplies, if we all had store rooms in our houses. But so many of us literally go to the shops maybe every day, maybe every second day. So we don't keep large amounts of stock of anything in our house. So I can fully understand why people are suddenly kind of going, well, I normally just buy toilet roll every week. I might not be able to get to the shop for maybe a month, like they're saying in Germany. So therefore, maybe I need to buy a month's worth of toilet roll. Toilet roll being the big thing in the UK that everyone's making sure they've got enough of. What's with the toilet paper buying needing extra fibre? I think, it's just because everyone is shitting themselves about the current situation, thinking, oh no, I may have no job. I may still have bills to pay. I may lose my job for a while, but I may have no economy to come back to whenever things, or I may have no industry to come back to whenever I come back. Again, they talk about like hotels just losing all their staff, and or not even like because of lack of people coming to the hotels. It's the fact that the staff are off ill because they have to be off ill because one member of their family is in their house. So every industry is getting absolutely decimated, and it's so quick happening here. But again, so my industry, the photography industry, the property photography industry, at the moment, there's obviously a delay. I've still got lots of houses that I need to shoot. I'm parked outside one just now that I need to go get the photos, the floor plan. But putting it on the market, it's they're saying that we might not be able to do viewings. We've got it advertised, we've got their photos, we've got the floor plans, maybe even get a video, but we can't actually interact with people and take them into the property. Or we might say, here's the door open, in you go, come back out and speak to me from a distance. We haven't quite got the plan. We don't quite know what we're meant to do in this situation if we're meant to be keeping our distance. And most vegan meats are available. Yeah, and all the go into the shops as well. The milk aisle empty. Go to the vegan milk aisle, all still there. I do think some people are buying a little bit more though. And also all the vegan milks, like the oat milks, the soy milks, they're long lasting as well. So if you don't open them, they last for ages. So maybe some people are maybe dipping their toe in some of the vegan options going on there. But yeah, you can see I'm already getting like stress spots going on from this. But fingers crossed, there is the potential that there will be a massive bounce. Like once the virus has run its course and everyone's like, back to work everyone, there may be a massive influx of, again, for my industry, properties on the market, properties up for sale, tenants trying to get flats, everything going back to normal. And there may be a very fast bounce, maybe not as fast as what it's been decimated by, but there may be a fast bounce back once it's done. But the question is, how long is that going to last, and does anybody have enough savings to survive that amount of time? And certainly for big companies that have got hundreds of staff, trying to pay all their staff all their salary, if they're saying, oh yeah, I can work from home, and you kind of go, yeah, but you've got no work to do and we're getting no income coming in, that doesn't help us. So it is a sticky situation going on here. Hello, Seattle in USA. Seattle in USA, if you've just come in, you can watch the rest of this video from earlier on. But effectively just saying, in Scotland, schools have been ordered to close from Friday. I don't know about nursery care yet or other sorts of care, but primary and secondary schools have been told to close. The universities have been stopped classes. So all the international students, all the students have no more university classes to go to. So they're all evacuating their rented accommodation and moving back either home with their family or back home to their country if they're international students. So there's a lot of large properties being completely abandoned and won't be able to get tenants for until the start of the next semester or the next summer, next year. So like six months ago. Here to close, schools closed here too for 6 weeks. Everything closed. Restaurants, libraries. Oh my god. Libraries, museums as well. This is not recession. It's a depression. Anyway, looks like I'm getting a call, so I'll give you all a chat later on.